So good day, people. It's Maritime Forex Academy. So today we're going to be talking about what's the word for it? Fair value gap, imbalance, and inefficiency. Okay, so yeah, in forex you need to have a vast knowledge of all these things. You need to. In this video we're going to be learning how we can identify fair value gaps on chart, imbalance, and inefficiency. These three things, or rather, they're basically almost the same, but I will just spot out the differences for you. These things are needed in your first journey to take sometimes for your entries. But if you stick to the pattern of returning back to your origin POI, that is the candle that caused the whole break of structure, you're still fine. But in forex we need to get what? We need to get a vast knowledge of all these things. All right, we need to have rather a vast knowledge of all these things. So let me start with identify FVG. That's what FVG, that's fair value gap. All right, let me quickly identify one. A fair value gap is a three candle pattern. A fair value gap must be a three candle pattern, meaning if you have consecutive bearish candles, like three red candles in a row, three red candles, you have three red candles and three bullish candles, fair value gap might exist in them. Okay, you cannot see two candles and say there's fair value gap on them. No, it usually occurs in what? Three candles. All right, let me try to see if I can pinpoint one. All right, let me pinpoint one here. This is a fair value gap. Let's focus on this box here, please. Let me zoom in. All right, the box here, the three red candles, you can see, all right, that we have a what? Fair value gap here. Let me explain. A fair value gap can exist when the high of the low of the first, let me use how to point it out. The low the low of this first candle here, the low, which is this here, the low of this candle does not overlap with the high of this candle. Are you getting? The low of this candle, which is does not overlap with the high of this candle. Okay, that's when you can see that there's a fair value gap in between this candle here, the middle candle, and there's a fair value gap here. That's what it means. That's what fair value gap just simply means. The low of this candle does not interrupt, does not overlap with the high of this candle, the wick here. That's what fair value gap is. Okay, all right. That's having pointed out. Let's look for a bullish example. Let's see if there's anyone here. So it will be the same schematics. If you're looking for, you see the same thing over here. The same thing. You can see there's a what? There's a fair value gap. Okay, there's a what? Fair value gap. Very simple. The low of this candle does not overlap with the high of this candle, so there's a fair value gap. This is a three candle pattern. It's a what? Three candle pattern. It must be consecutive what? Candle patterns. That's what a fair value gap means. It's just that easy. That easy. Let's see whether there are any fair value gap here. Yeah, there's fair value gap here too. You can see the high of this candle over here does not interrupt, yeah, so there's a fair value gap. I think there are many fair value gaps here, but that's why I say it can exist anywhere and everywhere on your chart, but it's not always all the time, because as you can see here, you cannot point out any fair value gap here, because there are many consecutive candle patterns. You can see we have three red here, three green here, and still there's no fair value gap now. So that is quite easy. Just a fair value gap must exist in three candle patterns. Can only exist in three consecutive candle patterns, be it bullish or bearish. Okay, it's when the high or low does not interrupt each other in between the middle candle here. They like this one, the low of this candle does not overlap with this one. So let's say what? There's a FVG, there's a fair value gap at the middle. All right, now let's go to imbalance or inefficiency. It's basically the same thing. Imbalance and inefficiency is just simple. There's an inefficiency here. This whole B candle is an inefficiency, right? And usually market like filling it up, right? when you see this kind of movement here. All right, most of the time this is what this candle pattern is. There was too much volume in the market, and we had something like this. This is an inefficient candle pattern. This is an imbalance. Market usually faces to create balance in the first market. All right, let's look for more. All right, yeah, inefficiency, basically an imbalance. These are just unnecessarily big candles to just what's the word for it, to just simplify everything. The unnecessarily big candles are the inefficient zones in the market. It basically happens almost everywhere, as you can see in these um consecutive patterns here. We have what consecutive patterns. It is what this is the first candle inefficient, just imbalance. It's basically, it happens everywhere. All right, so people, that's what it means. Inefficiency, and I've explained fair value gap. Inefficient and imbalance zones are basically the same thing. They're just zones that are unnecessarily big, because normal candle patterns just to maintain a normal market volume, which is this. All right, this is which are all this is an inefficient. This is an inefficient market zone, and the rest. So you can basically put them as point of interest for market to fill or return, for market to refill, or it depends on what you're looking for in the market. So I have not really analyzed this market to understand what it is going, but that will be a point of interest to note out. Okay, all right, basically that's all. Yes, yeah. And imbalance can also mean when a market has not like now, when there's a whole space that has not been filled out in the market. Like if market sells, let me draw something for you guys. All right, let me just draw it out like you. So if market does like this, let me explain this. Sorry, let me see. Market does this like all right. The market sells for a very long while. Are you getting? Market sells for a very long while. Yeah. This whole zone here. Let me explain this. This whole zone here. If market have not been tested, if market keeps selling down, market did not retest all these zones here, we call this what? An imbalance. There's what? The whole space here has to be filled up. Are you seeing? This place is what is called an imbalance. Are you getting? This whole space here, this whole space is called an imbalance. Yeah, the whole space, that's the longer version of imbalance. If market has sold for a very long while and market has not been tested, has not come back up, retraced, and this sales space is left empty, is what? An imbalance, inefficiency. Okay, the longer, the senior brother to it. Okay, all right, let me get this off. Let me see whether we can get an example on charts. All right, let's see. All right, you can see, I think I've gotten an example. All right, market has sold, and the market has not filled, or has not, you see, market has not filled all the zones to the upside, so market is going back to fill the zones. Are you getting? So it's basically like that. It's basically, when you see the market sells, it buys to fill. Market sells, it buys. Market sells, it buys to fill up the inefficient and imbalanced zones there. All right, it's just basically it. Basically, all right. Basically, it's not all the time. It's not a must, and market must fill the zones, but just for the general knowledge of it, is just how it goes. Okay, I think that will be all. Well, we covered fair value gap, imbalance, and inefficiency. So I think that will be all. Thank you. It's Maritime First Academy again. Do have a nice time.